It was so significant, I think, for my faith more than I even realized at the time, but do now. Um, and basically, it's pretty simple. I was sleeping in my bed. I woke up. My door was illuminated, and it was just a bright light. And I remember I got out of my bed and I was walking towards that light. Outside of that was like a dining room table. I mean, I remember everything. And as I got closer to the light, it began to take shape and form, and it turned into like Jesus, what I imagined Jesus to be. My mom had one of these like old school, this old school from like the 50s shots where he looks like a girl. He's like looking up with the blue eyes. But it came and it totally took form. And he was standing in the hallway and he put his arms out and he hugged me and just embraced me. That was so pivotal for my faith because the events that followed were very, very difficult. And there was nothing that could shake my knowing and my faith in Jesus at the time. I'm not really sure what events took place up until that point, until the 4 or 5 year old point. But then my mom was remarried again after that. Within those broken relationships that my mom had to walk through, of course, as a kid, you don't have a choice. You walk through them with her. There was, a lot of addiction. So there was alcoholism, drug addiction, and a lot of physical abuse. We stayed in battered women's shelters many times for months at a time. I came home from school and there was like always cops at my house. Like there was just a lot of drama happening. And for me, here's my mom's side of the family. I didn't really know my dad's side of the family, and my mom's side of the family is all Jewish. So they didn't have Jesus. But I knew to run to Jesus. Like I would go in my room, close the door, and start singing songs to Jesus. And so in those times that were so unstable or so, would cause chaos or fear, I had a rock. I had a reason to like run to him, and he would be my peace. He would be my comfort. I believe with all my heart that it's through the broken things that we are exposed to the greatness and the goodness of God. And so my favorite part is the stability of God, that he is solid. Like he is constant. Like everything around me moved. I don't remember one place that I lived when I was younger.
Wow.
Because we moved so much. So with everything changing and with people, I couldn't make friends because it was like you make a friend and then you have to move over here to this place and you move over. So it was like he was always constant to this day.
Wow. I want to talk about this song that you released this year called Awake. And you have some really strong lyrics, which I just love. You said, darkness can't stand by because the light is getting brighter. What inspired you to write the song?
In this season, this has been difficult to watch the warfare that's happening over a lot of people that we love and over the land, over our nation, over, and I have this sweet voice, but I don't mess with the devil. Like he's not my friend whatsoever. And I don't play. There's crazy things happening all over like our nation and people that I've talked to, people that are going through things. And I'm just fed up, and I just feel like we have to come to a point, us as believers, where we understand like and declare and stand firm and like really rise up and give glory to our God, who God is God. He's not changed. He's still on the throne. He's still the same, right? So he's still powerful. He's still mighty. He's the same God that placed every star in the heavens and knows them each by name. He's in control. He's got this. Like we are the ones that have to rise up and start declaring who he is and really believe he is who he says he is. And I was getting to a point where I was just like frustrated because I feel like, the church and the body of believers have really been just compromising and just kind of comfortable and just, and not really standing up to the forces of darkness. And the only way you can do that is to be the light and to declare it. So for me, I don't know, there was something like in me with Awake that darkness can't stand by, right? Because when there's light, you can't stand by. Like that's just, he's the light of the world. Like he's called us out of darkness into light. Awake is a call. It's a war cry. Like it makes me think of Gideon's army when God told him, here's your weapons. You're going to have a torch and a trumpet. I mean, seriously, like against 130,000 men, he could only gather 32. You know that they were probably freaked out. Like there's only 32,000 of us, right? And God says, you have too many. You're going to have to tell all the scared ones to go now. The scared ones out of 32,000 against 130. And there was probably a lot because that's a small amount. And we have to come to a place where we are getting ourselves emptied out of our own pride, of our own strength, of our own might, over what we think we have. And we have to be like literally humbled upon our knees, crying out to God and asking him to fill us and trusting that he alone is the one that's going to defeat the enemy. And so here he's left with 300 men, Gideon's army. And I just feel like so encouraged by that story. And some part of me, when I was carrying this torch and I was in the hills of Alaska, in the mountains of Alaska, like just looking over at the most breathtaking, gorgeous views and just crying out, with the Lord's heart, like, for his people, for his sons and daughters to arise, to wake up and realize, like, we are the ones that carry his manifest presence. We carry his power. The same power that raised Jesus, Yeshua, from the dead lives in us. Like, we are the ones in the earth carrying this.
Right.
But we have to rise up.
Yes.
And know.
That's amazing.
Right? The resurrection power. There's just something like, to me, I just feel like we can't be wimpy anymore. We can't. There's no thin line between faith and fear. You either have faith or you have fear, or else you're going to die.
That's right.
That's it.
Thank you for being with us here today. You're the real deal. And I encourage everyone to go and check out your music on YouTube.